Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Professional Writing. I'm Professor Mike, and today we're going to talk about resumes and cover letters as well. Today's tutorial is basically how to structure a resume, all the things, all the important stuff that you need to include in your resume, as well as like a tutorial about how to use the graphics, especially if you have PowerPoint. There are, of course, many programs that you can use to make a professional resume. I'm just going to stick with what I know, and that is PowerPoint. And I'm going to show you some, some ideas, examples of some resumes that I created for myself. And, at my age, I even know how to make a really good resume because of some of the ideas that were shared to me. As well as the cover letter, I have some great stuff about what you need to include in your cover letter as well. It's not, that simple. There are certain things that you have to keep in mind when you're writing a professional cover letter. Remember, you want that position, you want that job, and you want to stand out, above all the candidates and get hired, okay? Anyways, let's get right into today's lecture, and we'll start off with a mini PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is look at page 50 in the handbook, okay? In this unit, there's actually some very old and outdated material. I have to admit, when I wrote the handbook, that was about 4 years ago. I think it was published in 2017. And now it's 2020, and to be honest, even the stuff that I had back then is really outdated. So, but nevertheless, it's kind of there are some things there in the book that I think will be highly useful. So let's go over to that book. Okay, so in Unit 6, okay, so if you want, you can read some of this stuff here. In fact, let's just read it anyway. So it just says that many students often ask me whether they should use a certain style for creating a resume. And I mean, that's a really good question, okay? Because you have to think of a number of things, specifically the type of position you are seeking, what you are looking for. Also, the company or the school or the institution you are applying to, and also whether it's located in Europe, North America, or elsewhere in the world, okay? So we're going to look at two types of resumes that are probably most common among job seekers, and there's an American style and a European style. But to be honest, they've, like I said, this is outdated now, okay? There's generally kind of an international style that's going on right now. But I will tell you, though, that I know that when you send a resume to North America, there are some things you need to keep in mind that are different from sending a resume here in Europe, and I'll show you that. Unfortunately, I can't tell you much about the resumes elsewhere in the world, in Asia or Africa or elsewhere. I'm only familiar, just from my own experience, with North America, Canada, and the USA, as well as Europe. So let's get started here. I want to show you something which many of you probably are already familiar with, and that's something called Europass. If you're not familiar with it, Europass is, it's a template for making both a resume and a cover letter. And it's actually, I have to admit, when I first saw Europass back in 2012, I think, that's 8 years ago, I was impressed back then. It made a fairly good resume. And when I look at the website now in 2020, I'm more impressed. I mean, it's developed so much, and I just want to show you exactly how it works. Okay, so if you go to the Europass website, I'm just going to lift up the camera here and just show you what the address is. Okay, so you can see it there. It is Europa. Well, where are we here? Here we are. Okay, so Europa, EU, Europass, or just type in Europass into the search engine, and you will come to it. Okay, then. So, and when you come to the main page, okay, so you're going to come to something like this, and you've got two choices: create CV or create a cover letter. So let's go over to this CV. Okay, so it's going to ask you right away. You can make a profile. Okay, so which is also a good idea. It's for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, and otherwise, if you don't, it's okay too. You can just go and continue, and so you'll get a step-by-step, process basically. Okay, so first of all, this is your welcome. You can start your profile here. Okay, import a Europass CV, or create a new one. Okay, so if you ever want to update your CV, everything is here for you. So we'll go right here to create new CV. Okay. So the first stuff, basically they want you to, put in some editing information here. So there's this, we'll start with English, of course, but I mean, you can put like all the languages are there. I mean, so it's great. If you come from France or if you come from, even Macedonia, you can put it in Macedonian. It's amazing. But we'll stick with English today. This date format, okay, so you'll get all these 2019 like styles. Okay, so it's basically, if like some people want to put like 23 April, or if you're going to the United States, remember in America they start with the month, then the date, and then the year. Okay, so it can be like that. Okay, so you have different variations, of course, but we'll stick with this format right now. It's not today's date, but it's just a template of the style of how you want to present the date. Okay, now we can start putting in all that wonderful information. Hang on a second here. I'm just going to get my keyboard ready. I'm just going to bring it behind here. Okay, so I've got all kinds of stuff already there. Okay, I don't know, about me, teacher of English. Let me see if I can spell English properly. I don't know, Canadian, what else? Well, okay, YouTuber. Okay, anyways, so let's continue here. Date of birth, oh my, I don't know if I want to do that, so I'm just going to put in my date of birth. Here we are, I'm 29 years old, and I will put in my email address. What else here? Oh, okay, so you stick in your phone number, so it's a mobile. Okay, the country code, so automatically it gives you all the European Union countries. Oh, let me get rid of that. I hope you didn't see that. I don't want you guys calling me. Yeah, Facebook. Oh, maybe we'll leave that one empty then. Instant messaging. Oh, yeah, there's WhatsApp. Okay. All right, website, if you have your own personal website. Okay, you can stick your address in here. Home, okay, so I've got the Prirodovedecka, I've got the faculty address here. And of course, we've got to stick the country in. Let's find Slovakia somewhere. Oh, I'm going a little too far, there it is. Okay, and now we just save it. All right, so it gives me, some idea of stuff here, okay? All right, and we can also, this is my personal information. Of course, I can, drag in a photograph. I'm not going to do that right now, though, okay? We can add a new section, okay? And here, look at all this. So in case you're, if you're wondering, what do I put in my resume? Well, there's a lot of stuff here, okay? All of this stuff is the most important stuff, okay? So we can start with our education, we can start with our work experience and then our education. To be honest, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, remember, if you're applying for a research institution, after Slovenská akademia vied, the Slovak Academy of Sciences, or the Faculty of Natural Sciences, where I am, you can put your education in first, okay? Because most employers in a research institution or an educational institution, they want to see, your highest level of education first, and then your work experience is more supplemental, dodatkové, okay? But it's up to you. You can mix them around. Like, I mean, if you're applying for a job at, if you want just a job, like a part-time job, of course, put your work experience. Like if you're looking to work at McDonald's or Starbucks or, something like that, just to, because you need the extra money. Okay, these types of companies are more interested in your work experience than your education. Okay, so just keep in mind the company you're applying for. All right, all of this other stuff here is also amazing, but there's a lot of it, so you have to be very selective. Language skills are extremely important, especially here in Europe. Not so much in America, okay? Canada, it's a little bit more, if you, especially, English and French because of the market in Canada. But in America, in USA, English or Spanish, okay? All right, then. Your digital skills, okay, meaning computer skills, communication and interpersonal skills, okay. Yeah, you can say that you graduated from professional oral communication, okay, so that's also important. You can list me as a reference if you want. I have no problems with that. I'd be happy to do that. Okay. Conferences and seminars, of course, if you're applying for a research institute, any kind of creative works, okay? And then you got all this kind of other stuff that, try not to forget, like a driving license. If you're going to, if you're applying for Uber, okay, or to be a limo driver, or you want to be a courier, okay, it doesn't matter, okay? Even if you want to work at a research institute, the employer is always happy to see that you have a driving license, okay? It's always important. And then you got all that other stuff, of course, projects, publications, recommendations, okay? I don't know about political activities. I wouldn't put that there, okay? Volunteering is very important. If you can show that you do volunteer work, that would be just absolutely amazing. Okay, so you would just go to, let's start with work experience, okay? All right, so we add this section, and then it's right here in front of us. So here's our personal data, and then we just put everything in, where did I work, what did I do, and so on. Okay, and then you continue with your education and all the parts that, that you want, and it'll come up with a resume for you. Okay. All right then. So I'm going to go back actually. I'm going to leave the page and I want to just look at this create cover letter here, which is really, I'm really impressed. So it's the same thing as the CV. We go, we just continue. Okay. All right. We're going to create a new cover letter. Okay, so it's going to be the same stuff, English, the format of the date, okay? And then we can stick in all our information here, okay? The phone number and all that. Where are we here? Slovakia. Okay, email address, okay. Instant messaging, okay, that's optional. All right. Now you can also go to the details of the person you are, you're writing to, of course. Okay, so for example, I'm going to put this one in here. Okay, you have this great This is a really interesting title, okay? This is Ms. It is not Mrs. Mrs. Yay, Pani, okay? Madame, okay? It is not Miss, okay? Mademoiselle Slechna, but it is Ms. Okay, it means, this is an interesting title we have in English, and it's very professional. If you are writing to a woman and it's not shown, ne to uvedene, okay, whether she is married or single, we don't know how old she is or anything about her. This is a very neutral way of addressing a woman, Ms., okay? Then you fill it all in, so you put the last name, first name, and so on. Okay, so you can save it. All right, and then we can continue. Okay, so let's have a look here. Yeah, you put all this stuff in there, and great. Okay, so you can see here. Here's my information. Here is the person. Okay, you can put in content, okay, so you have an opening salutation, okay, pozdrav, okay, so with my kindest regards, okay, so dear Ms. So-and-so, I don't know, let's put in Ms. Lucia, and then the main body, I am interested in the position offered. Oh, make sure, of course. Now this is, look at that. Okay, so I make many typo. A typo is a preklep in Slovak. I don't know how to say it in French. Okay, so be careful. Always be very careful of your spelling. Okay, so I would write something there and I'll show it to you later. Okay, so I can save that. And with my closing, yeah, it helps you all of that stuff. With my kindest regards, so yours sincerely. All right. Professor Mike. Okay, I can upload my signature here and then I can save that as well. Okay. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to have to tilt it a little bit right over there. You can see the next. And if I click next, okay. What is happening here? Go ahead. Oh, something is missing then. Oh, of course, this would happen to me. When I did this before, it completely worked. All right, well, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so obviously I've probably forgotten something. So let's put in this stuff here. Make sure it's capital. Okay, I don't know, today's date, whatever today's date is. I think it's the 5th. Okay, so let's save that one. And, oh. Didn't I put Lucia there? Okay, I didn't. So we're writing some stuff here. So Ms. Lucia at Sav. We'll save that. Oh, and it does need a subject, okay, regarding, so you can put the vacancy number. Okay, let's get that in there. I don't know. How does it look now? It's still saying edit. Maybe I still have to put in some stuff here. All right, maybe that'll be better. Maybe that's what they're looking for. I don't know if it really matters there. It's not fun. I'm not having fun anymore. Okay, well, anyways, this is this is a style of doing it, and if you do it properly, like unfortunately, I'm having a bad day today for some reason because it worked for me 10 minutes ago. Now, Robi Misrandu. Oh my, it's making fun of me today. And it's not letting me go to the next button because something has not been filled out. Oh, okay, maybe maybe that's why. Let's say I've come from Bulgaria. Okay. All right, look at that. I can see there's the next has come back to life. Let's click it. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. All right, so finally I'm saved. Anyways, so it does everything for you here, okay? So here is like I haven't really written anything, okay? You can choose the template that you want, okay? So I can make it like so, I can make it like so, I can make it like so, like the first one. And everything is done for you, okay? So you look at that, again, you go down, there will be another next button here at the bottom. So we click that, okay? And now all we have to do is just, put the name of the cover letter, okay? We're gonna select it, PDF and download it and print it. And that's all you have to do. So the other thing that I think is also extremely important is the issue of a personal photograph, okay? So basically, if you're applying for a job in Canada, USA, and Mexico, do not put a personal photograph, okay? Here in Europe, it's very typical, it's okay. But actually, if any of you have ever been to America or to Canada, well, you have to, there's a lot of this, how would we call it? Political correctness, okay? PC, to be politically correct, okay? Which is fine. I'm completely for it because, as a professional person, when you're speaking to other people or dealing with other people, you have to be as neutral as possible, okay? So the key word is being neutral. Okay, so actually I read in, I think it was Forbes magazine a long time ago that if you use a photo, you'll come across as naive and unprofessional, okay? The reason is that if you use a photograph, the employer or the company or institution that you're applying for, they're going to think, oh, well, you're such a good-looking person, we're going to hire you because, you have a great smile, you have a pretty face, a handsome man, feshak, kochka, The thing is, you have to be careful because actually it's illegal, okay, to consider factors like age, your race, gender, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, disability status, okay, if you're in a wheelchair and things like that. Because, well, let's read on here. Hiring authorities, okay, that's the human resources, Ludzkie zdroje. They prefer to not officially know, like, whether you're a member of one of these classes, okay? So if you put a photo on your resume, you reveal some of these details. And if the employer later interviews you, but doesn't hire you, well, then there's a possibility of a discrimination claim, okay? So remember, the USA, not so much in Canada, but especially the USA, if you're sending a resume there, don't put the photograph, okay? Because discrimination is a very, very sensitive topic, okay? They have no problems going to court. They have many courts, okay? So it's very, very easy, and it's expensive, but it's actually not all that expensive to take somebody to court and sue you, okay? To sue, like the żalovat, okay? And that would happen. So, but anyway, so what they would do is if they saw the photograph, then right away they won't even look at your resume, okay? They won't ask you to come in for an interview, anything, because they want to avoid any potential accusation. All right, I'm just going to show you a quick 5-minute video. It's actually just 5 no-nos, 5 things that students typically do when they're looking for a job, and typical mistakes that they make, especially in their resumes and their cover letters. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at this video.
The resume. This simple sheet of paper, for better or for worse, is your primary tool when it comes time to getting a job. It's pretty scary. The other scary part is that the recruiting directors deciding your fate are only going to spend about 10 seconds looking at your resume, and they're comparing you against dozens and sometimes hundreds of other students. So what can you do to make sure your resume doesn't get tossed into the scrap heap? Well, there's some serious mistakes that students make over and over again that ruin their chances. Trust me, I know. Typos. Who would send a resume out with a typo on it? A lot of people, actually. In fact, it's estimated that 20% of student resumes have typos on them. Now, I know what you're thinking. No worries for me, I don't have a typo on my resume. Well, that's what everyone thinks. I mean, no one would send a resume out knowing they have a typo on it, would they? I remember picking up a resume of a student who was very proud of his managerial skills. In fact, he was responsible for running a team of 8 employees. Yet when I looked at his resume, it said, responsible for ruining a team of 8 employees. Now, it's just one letter, and of course, spell check wouldn't catch it. I don't know about you, though. I wouldn't want to hire a guy who just ruined a team of 8 employees. Before you ever send your resume out, you need to make sure at least 2 other people proofread it. Hey. I know an even better place to start. How about the Career Center? Do you think they might have some folks who'd be more than happy to look at your resume and give you all sorts of advice? Of course they do.
Okay, I'm just pausing that. That's absolutely correct. We don't have a career center here, at Mlinska Dolina, or especially at Prifuk. So I am your career center. So anyways, if you have a resume or cover letter, any kind of letter, please send it to me and I will look at it and make those corrections. I love proofreading, okay? I really, it's something I enjoy doing, and I offer to anybody, to all of the community here at Prifuk, students, professors, anybody, you're welcome to send me anything to look at. Let's go on here.
Writing style. Resumes need to be easy to read. The fact is, most of us in the real world don't have time to read. The best way to format your resume is using bullet points. There should be no sentences on your resume, so there's no need for any periods. Make sure you remove all first person. I don't want to see the words I, we, me, or our on your resume. And finally, make sure you start all those bullet points with action verbs, and don't repeat those action verbs. Do you know what the Lisa Janet Szabo Honorary Scholarship is? Neither do I. Not everybody went to your school. Not everybody was in the same extracurriculars. You need to make sure that you explain it to the recruiting director. So for all I know, the LJZHS is awarded to 1 student out of 1,000 based on outstanding academics, leadership, and commitment. Or for all I know, your grandmother is Lisa Janet Szabo, and she gave you $50 to buy pizza one day.
Okay, remember, it's Szabo, my name.
No idea. Explain, in one brief phrase, what it is. Otherwise, the reader will assume it's worthless. Multi-page resumes. I don't care how amazing, active, or accomplished you are. You must get your business resume onto 1 page. If someone's only spending 10 or 15 seconds looking at it, I doubt they're going to be excited about seeing GPA 3.42689. We don't need your GPA carried out to the 10,000th percentile. Your GPA should be 3.1 number. You're going to round up or down
Okay, I don't know if you actually have a GPA in Europe. I've never heard of it in Slovakia, but it's possible. Maybe it does exist in other countries. Okay, in Canada we don't use it. Maybe they use it now. To be honest, I don't know. But this is a very American thing. This is your grade point average. The highest number is 4. 3.1 is a good one. That means you're pretty smart also. Okay. But anyways, I wouldn't worry about it. I don't even think people even include it in their resumes anymore.
According to the laws of mathematics. So in this case, your GPA should be listed as 3.4. So there you have it. Resume mistakes that students make over and over again. Make sure you avoid these and you'll definitely improve your chances of landing a job. Good luck.
Okay, so I hope that was helpful to you. I mean, these are some of the real typical mistakes that people make, not just students, but anybody, okay? Proofreading is so important, okay? Really, really, have somebody else look at your resume and, they'll find all those mistakes. I'm going to show you right now a few resumes, and I'm going to show you my own resume, and I'll show you, how I actually learned how to make it. Let's go right into it. Okay, so here are a couple of resumes. So for example, this is a good resume right here. Everything is uniform, okay? So it means that everything is straight. The spacing, the line breaks are exactly the same, okay? The headings are very clear. We have them all on the left. Okay, I don't think you can read them or anything, but even the headings of the employment, the schools that Jay Gatsby went to, even his name is large, okay? That's the most important thing is your name, okay? Yeah, everything is great. A good amount of white space, okay? You don't want to have too much blank, but you don't want to have it too full. And of course, you want short and powerful statements. Now, the thing about this resume, okay, in its time, it was very, very good. Nowadays, it's not so interesting anymore, okay? But with regards to, those certain basics, okay, like the spacing and filling in, make sure everything's kind of filled into the paper. You don't want things kind of like over here or over here. All that stuff is really important. Here is a bad resume, okay? So this is the same guy. All right, the spacing is just terrible. Look at the bullet points, okay? So just as the guy in the video said, use bullet points, that's great. But you can see that there was no proofreading. I mean, all it takes is just, use the, the enter or the delete button just to move it over, play around with it, line things up. Like you have these great big spaces here. I mean, it's just terrible, as well as this flowery, illegible fonts. Like you don't want something like that, and you want to keep the same font throughout the resume. All right then. Wow, look at that. So again, we have a bad one here. Okay, it's just too much. Okay, I mean, look here. I mean, Andrew Sherry, his name here, first of all, it's too small. You can see it compared to that one. Everything's spaced in columns, okay? This is what you want, okay? So, I mean, this resume back here, well, not that one here, it's okay. This is the old style, okay? But actually, people are putting, using the graphics and everything, okay? So put your personal info like this, okay? Start with your soft skills, okay? All right, so that's like your communication, problem solving, organization. And then you can go on to your hard skills, okay? Interviewing and things like that. Put your languages in. And then you can go to your work experience, start with the where you work right now, if you're currently employed, or at least the last place that you employed, okay? Then you can go to your education, okay? So, you don't need to put your základná škola, your école élémentaire, or nothing like that. You can just put your university, that's enough, okay? At least your highest level of education. And then additional activities, okay? So this is like your volunteer stuff, okay? Certifications, okay? Certificates, conferences, okay? Things like that. All right, so let's look at let's look at my resumes here. Okay, so I've got actually two, and this one here, which I thought was pretty cool when I made it. And it's funny. I wrote this one a couple of years ago, and I thought it was okay. I mean, it was quite simple, I suppose, but I really didn't know how to use any of these graphics, like, put color, put a photograph, or anything like that. And then later, a colleague of mine, she said, "Well, okay, it's okay." She said, "It's not a bad resume, but it's outdated." I said, "Well, why is it outdated? I made this only 2 years ago in 2018." And she said, "Well, 2 years is a long time. For me, 2 years is like 2 weeks, at my age. But anyways, yeah, I'm 29 years old, of course. Yeah, but the information is there, but she updated it. She came up with something like that. She said, this one looks a little bit better, okay? She said, the blue color is fine, but people have a tendency to, even go with darker colors, okay? Even the picture, like I had my face was all stretched out, and she was like, no, you got to put something, or you don't look so, heavy, and, things like that. So anyways, how did I make such a resume? Okay, well, I went to the Canada Employment Agency the last time I was in Canada, and they said, come to a seminar. We teach people how to make professional resumes, and they showed me this film, and basically it's like all the stuff that you need to click on your PowerPoint. And so later on, I looked on YouTube, and there was something similar. So in fact, actually, why don't we just go to this video right now and watch a little bit of it, and then I will send the link in the email today. Hang on. Watch this video. It's actually 20 minutes long, but we're only going to look about 4 or 5 minutes of it here. So don't worry about it too much. And what's great, so there's, my first resume that I had done, and I liked this one. I thought that was pretty cool. There's no speaking at all in this video. You just hear the clicks. I should go back a little bit here. All right, so it's telling you, first of all, get to that blank page, go to the size, okay? Insert a blank page. All right, so we've got 2 pages there. Oh, of course, wow, look at that, okay. So this is somebody else's resume. Oh boy. All right, so we have somebody else's resume on the left, and now we're going to do our resume. Now, of course, when I made this resume, I paused it, I went back, I was like, what did he click? What did he click? How did he do that? But that's great. I mean, we've got the play pause button, so it really helped me out a lot. Anyway, so you can see here, they show you all the places, like where you need to click, okay, which part, from home and settings and things like that. Look at that, the shape, color. Isn't that great, eh? Look at that. Look, wow, that's cool. Okay. All right, so if I even move on, okay. Well, he's put in his photograph. Okay, so let's go back to that. He's taken a photograph, put it there, and he's going to shape it. And yeah, he's gonna make it smaller. So basically, this is everything that I did, you know, and this is a great video because it's universal. It explains to everybody what you need when you make a resume. Okay, I'm just going to stop it, and I'll send you the link, of course, in the email, and you can go. Okay, so I just want to show you some more stuff about the cover letters. Okay, so the Europass that you saw at the beginning of this video was really helpful because you've got the template already set up for you, and all you have to do is just add the information. Everything is prompted for you, and it formats it. Okay, then you can also do an edit. You can add things to it. You know, do that proofreading. Maybe you put the position number in wrong, okay? Maybe you even spelled your name wrong, okay? So you have to check all of that stuff, but Europass is amazing. I'm just gonna show you a quick 4-minute video. This is like, it's kind of like a cartoon, okay? And basically the guy is telling you all the stuff that you need to include in your cover letter. So let's get right into it.
Writing a good cover letter is a crucial step in the job search process, yet many people don't write one or put in the time to write an effective one. So how do you write the perfect cover letter? This short video will give you the necessary steps to create an effective cover letter that lands you interviews. We often hear people ask, do I need to send a cover letter? The answer is yes. You should always send a cover letter unless the job posting says otherwise. The point of the cover letter is to give a bit of an introduction as to who you are, your interest in the position, and why you think you'd make a good fit. It also adds a human touch to the plain old boring resume. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we're going to cover is the format, and then we'll cover things you absolutely need to mention if you want your cover letter to stand out from the hundreds of other job seekers. Okay, let's take a look at how a cover letter should be formatted. As you see in our template, the header should have your name, contact number, and email. You can keep it similar to the header on your resume, but omit your mailing address. You should then include the receiver's name, title, company name, and address. If you can't find the name of the hiring manager, don't include it. You can start the letter as Dear Hiring Manager, but always try to make an effort to find out the hiring manager in charge. You should try to keep your cover letter between half a page to 2/3 of a page long. Remember that most employers spend less than a minute going through your resume and cover letter.
Okay, that's really important, okay? So just like your resume, you want to keep everything on one page, and your cover letter should just be half a page to 2/3, dve tretini, but after that, that's maximum to 2/3, okay? So somewhere around there. You don't need to write your whole history or anything because your resume is going to have all that stuff there, okay? The cover letter is an introduction. You're introducing yourself, you're explaining the reasons why you're applying for the job, and you're letting the employer know that you're sending them your resume for them to look at and to consider you, and that you are available for an interview, to talk in more detail about yourself and your intentions of working for this company.
No one wants to read an in-depth, page-long cover letter. 3 paragraphs is a good length, and we'll go through what each paragraph should contain. We'll then show you an example of an excellent cover letter. Paragraph 1 should be an introduction to who you are and the position you're applying for. Include where or how you found the opening, the title, and job ID if there is one. Should also lead into the next paragraph by stating a brief summary of your qualifications or your interest in the position. The second paragraph should discuss your qualifications and achievements which show why you're a good fit for the position. Remember that you want to stand out from the hundreds of other candidates that are applying for the job. So don't just give a few examples of what you did in your last position. Show how you went above and beyond. Mention a few examples of quantifiable or measurable achievements in your career. Use compelling language and don't repeat the information in your resume. Try to bring your experience to life, and this will encourage the reader to look into your resume in more detail. In the third and last paragraph, close out by saying that you feel you're a good fit based upon your qualifications. Remember, you should include a call of action, which in this case would be inviting you to an interview. And the last thing you should do is thank them for taking the time out to consider you. Let's put this template into action. Here's an example of a great cover letter. Hi, Susan. I'm ready to express my interest in the accounting position you have open on your company website with the job ID 11220. I'm a certified public accountant.
Okay, I would be very careful about saying, hi, Susan, okay? That is something, okay, this is very American, to be honest with you. I would put, Dear Ms. Johnson.
Confident that my experience and skill set would be a great match for this position. I have a strong knowledge of accounting principles backed by experience I've gained in the last...
Okay, but otherwise, this is a great way of structuring your cover letter. You've got 3 parts, okay? Basically, you're introducing yourself, the job ID number, okay? The job itself that you're applying for, okay? Where did you see this job, okay? Well, it was open on the company website. I saw it on Profesia SK. I saw it in the newspaper, and then you briefly tell yourself who you are. Okay, I'm a certified public accountant, and I'm confident that my experience and skill set would be a great match for this position. And instead of, talking about, exactly what you did in your position or in your last position or last positions, the man said, talk about those achievements, uspehi, okay, the successes that you had, okay? So for example, I managed the accounting of a financial consulting firm with over $30 million in resume. So, I mean, you're emphasizing you're an important person. You had, responsibilities, or at least in this cover letter, responsibilities of, handling $4 million.
12 years. In my previous position, I managed the accounting of a financial consulting firm with over $30 million in revenue. I not only met expectations, but exceeded them by increasing cash flow by $4 million.
Sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, $30 million. And the person increased it by $4 million. So
helped achieve this by changing our account receivable policy and negotiating better contracts. There's more in depth on my experience and skills in my resume, which I would appreciate you looking over. I am certain that my...
Love that. These are great transitions. There is more depth, okay, in on my experience and skills in my resume, which I would appreciate you looking over, okay? I would appreciate, okay? I love that. I would be happy if you looked at my resume. And then here's our closing.
Experience and skill set would make me a great candidate for this position, as well as a great asset to your company. Please give me a call at the number above to schedule an interview at your convenience. I appreciate your consideration and look forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely, John Smith. So there you have it. Remember these 3 points in your resume: who you are, your qualifications, and how they can benefit the employer, and a call to action asking to schedule an interview.
All right.
Thanks for watching. And to read more tips, please visit the link in the...
Okay, so I'm going to send you one more link that's going to accompany this video. And it's a great link. It's basically how to, it's like all the structure that you need, to include in the cover letter. Ugh, I can't speak today. Anyway, so I'm just going to show it to you very briefly, okay? It shows you all the necessary stuff, the structure, and I think it'll be really helpful. Let's go over to it. So right there, how to write a cover letter for a job in 2020. So this is pretty updated, okay? And you've got all the, the Financial Times, Guardian, the Huffington Post, and things like that. Okay, so look here then. So the beginning, let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger for you to read. Okay, so it says here, you can't just write a cover letter. It has to be perfect. But how do you write it? Well, the kind of letter that will make the employer call you up in the middle of the night. All right, here it says give us 10 minutes and we'll show you how to do it. So let's just go all the way into it then. So for example, here are these, this is a really great way to, let me get rid of that there. Okay, here is an awesome template. Let me just move things over here. Okay, again, you have your heading. Okay, so you're going to have your personal info, but you also need to put the person you are writing to. So here's the town that Ms. You can see it right there. I hope you can see it. Ms. Musa. Oop. All right, then Ms. Catherine Blumstein, or Blumstein, as you would say here in Slovakia, but we would say Blumstein or Blumstein in North America. All right, so the head of marketing, okay, or human resources manager, okay, hiring manager, hiring officer. Usually they'll have the title, like included in the advertisement for the job. You put, their name, okay, or the company's name, I'm sorry, their address, again, Flowerville, okay. And then you can go into it. Okay, so for example, this one is a little bit longer. This is probably five paragraphs, okay? But in fact, actually, it's kind of like this. You have opening, okay, just as the video said, get them hooked, okay? So you're going to, I'm a positive, I've worked as a digital marketing, I'm interested in the position of digital marketing manager, okay? I've handled budgets of over 300,000. Okay, the second paragraph, okay, which would be, all of this stuff over here in my current position at ABC, so things that I've done. And then your third paragraph, although they've kind of, broken it up a little bit. And then I don't know if you want to even use that though, but, okay, but the person writing here says that, I know that XYZ's current plans involve developing a comprehensive online portal, okay? So you're basically explaining why you are, the perfect candidate for this, for this position then. Okay, anyway, so again, I would welcome the chance to discuss this and so on. Okay, there's even a PS. But there's also like other types of examples you can find around here somewhere. Okay, if we go down a little bit further here. Okay, it's probably down at the bottom. But anyway, so if you're going to use this, I strongly recommend, okay, that you use it. Everything is there. It tells you about the header. Okay, it just breaks down all the details that you need to know. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to leave it at that for today. I think that's enough. How about today is like November 5th, okay? How about, let's say, 2 weeks? If you guys can send me a resume and a cover letter, hopefully by using some of this stuff, like the link that I'm sending you about how, to make all that graphic design, the link that I just showed you in the previous shot here about how to structure your cover letter and so on. Again, I don't give you grades. Actually, these courses are not A, B, C, D, E, or F, okay, but they're more about, like I'm more interested in just seeing what kind of progress you make. And basically, these courses are just, sharing things that I find, okay, things that I like I've gone through YouTube, I've seen so many different ways of making a resume, writing abstracts and things like that. And basically, that's my job. I look through all of these videos. I look through the entire, well, not the entire internet, but a lot of the internet, a lot of search engines, just to find, stuff like Europass and writing cover letters, and I try to find the best stuff basically and try to share it with you as much as possible. So honestly, please write a resume, please write a cover letter. I mean, try to make it as great as you can, and of course, like as you don't have to include like your telephone number or your address. I really don't want to even know, your phone number or address. So just make things up, because of the, I mean, this is, personal information and stuff like that. So this is only, just to develop your skills and hopefully you'll learn something, and really I hope it'll be helpful to you, because in a few years you're going to be applying for those positions, either at the institute that you're working at now, or maybe even somewhere else. Okay, all right then, well, let's leave it like that. Okay, so the deadline will be 2 weeks, so that will be November 19th. Between now and November 19th, please send me a resume and an abstract, okay? And yeah, we'll leave it like that. I'm not going to talk anymore. Okay, have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.